Well, Lecrae, let me start first by saying congratulations on your two Grammy nominations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, how exciting for you, right? And especially this year, I would assume, is really special.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much going on. It's been a crazy year, especially for all my folks in Texas as well. So it's just any kind of joy we can get, we'll take it.
Yeah, we appreciate that Houston shout out. You're representing H Town. I know you live in Atlanta, but I know Houston is forever in your heart.
Absolutely, absolutely. You better believe it. Forever and a day. The food gets no better than in Houston too. So I have to always migrate back out there.
I know, I know. What is it that you miss about Houston that when you come home, you must experience?
Well, definitely Mexican food and barbecue. Those are two very important aspects of it. It's always good to see family and friends. My family came from Third Ward. They've since migrated everywhere, but it's always cool to come back to Third Ward and just see, everything that's going on there. And yeah, it's so many things to miss. I
Yeah.
don't miss the heat though.
Right, right. Well, after our winter we've had, we're looking forward to it this year. It's an exception, I'd say. A
Right,
rare exception, though. I'm right there with
right.
you about the heat. Just give people some reference. Which schools did you attend when you lived in Third Ward?
So, in Third Ward, it would have been Blackshear Elementary, and then, we moved around. So obviously, I didn't get to go. I would have ended up going to Jack Yates, which was my mom's alma mater, and that would have been exciting for me. But we had moved to the Dallas area by that point in time, so I didn't get to fulfill my dreams of being a Yates student.
Yeah, but some deep Texas roots there, no doubt, whether it's Houston or
Absolutely,
Dallas. Yeah, for sure.
absolutely.
So let's get back to the Grammys, the business at hand here. So, two nominations. You've had two wins in the past, seven nominations. I mean, does it ever get old getting these accolades?
You know what? It's always surprising when you've been in the music industry and you just working hard and creating in the studio. It's always blows your mind that it's being acknowledged this way. So it's always a surprise, and so it's always a pleasure. It doesn't get old at all, not at all.
Yeah. That's a lot of years, a lot of music recognized in a genre that has really, really grown. I tell you, for anyone who thought that faith based hip hop was just a fad, boy, were they wrong. Did you ever imagine that it would evolve and grow and become what it has?
Never. It's so funny. We were just this little ragtag group of individuals creating music in our closet, and just to look up and see us on these big stages and be me being able to travel the world is pretty mind blowing. And I'm just extremely grateful. And I always want to, make sure I acknowledge all the people who invested in me from the beginning because we never thought we'd be here.
Yeah. What is it about the music that you think people are drawn to? Is it the hip hop beat or is it that inspiring, encouraging word?
You know what? I think it's a combination. I think people enjoy, music that's relevant to them artistically, but then they also can appreciate, something that is inspiring and hopeful. It's kind of like going to see a great movie. Obviously, the message in the movie is there, but if they just wrote it on the screen, that it wouldn't be the same as if you're watching it all unfold in a phenomenal cinematic, environment. So I think it's the combination.
Ultimately, the message is positive with your music, but there is a lot of darkness there in your own personal testimony and what you have been through. How have you found it possible to be so vulnerable within your music?
I really firmly believe that leaders lead in vulnerability. And I think that by me showing off my scars, it helps people to realize that their wounds can heal. So I'm always hoping to inspire people with my scars so that they can believe that, change is possible. And I know it personally, so I want to share that with others.
Yeah, I'm sure you've had feedback from fans as well too. You have Unashamed, now you have Restoration. Is that part of the motivation in being able to share your life story with everyone?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's so many of us out there, specifically within the last couple of years, who just experienced some dark times, and people need to believe that this is not the end. People need to believe that, that though we may endure tough circumstances, that the circumstances don't define us, and that we can't always change them, but we can be changed by them, and that's what I hope people walk away with.
Your art, I feel like, is just as much of an artistic expression as it is a ministry. Do you feel that way?
Absolutely, absolutely. I was told a long time ago, I never aspired to be a pastor or anything like that, but somebody told me, ministry is where your feet are. And so as long as you're serving people wherever it is, if you work at a credit union or you're in the music industry, serve people. And that's what I aim to do.
Yeah. It's an interesting combination, the way in which you're serving and how you have been able to package it and be successful over the years, taking hip hop and then Christian music and combining them as well too. Do you think part of it is, it's the music, and if the music just sounds so good, that's what people hear first, or do you feel like it's more about them hearing the message first?
Yeah, I think we're all different. We're all unique. Some of us need to understand the relatability, and that somebody can relate to them on a practical level before they can hear the message. But some of us are just in a crisis where we need that message of hope and healing and restoration. We need that message right off the bat, and so maybe they wouldn't look anywhere else but to find it in this art form is just, I think it's encouraging. It to me, it shows that God can use anything, right? He can use whatever he wants to use in order to bring change.
Yeah. Did you ever struggle with which direction to go in when it came to a music genre? More of the traditional hip hop or the Christian side of it? Did you ever struggle and question yourself in going one direction or the other?
Yeah, I think that's always a tension, right? Is how do you use your craft? And for me, I always wanted to be a bridge builder. I never wanted to, be so isolated that I couldn't connect to either side of that bridge. So I always wanted to be a bridge builder and make sure that, folks from the mainstream and folks from the faith-based world could connect. And if I could be the person to make that happen in any shape, form, or format, then I would be extremely grateful. So that's been my objective.
I have followed your career for a number of years now, so I am familiar with your life and your life struggles. But for people who aren't, tell us just about your childhood, coming into manhood, and what that was like for you and how it has shaped you.
Yeah, I think I experienced a lot of trauma as a kid, just growing up in an environment where, I didn't have my father in my life. And then a lot of the men in my life were, unfortunately, victims of uh, you know, gangs and drugs and so on and so forth. And so those were some of the role models I had, and it led me down some dark roads. But I think for me, I wanted to believe that I had purpose, I had value, I had worth, and I knew that if I tapped into, understanding that and understanding my creator who gave me that value and that worth, that I could really become something more than what I saw in front of me.
Yeah. And we hear a lot of that in the album Restoration. Tell me, when it comes to the album, it really is much more than an album. It's a call to action to help restore one's community, right?
Absolutely. So restoration is an ecosystem, I like to call it. Obviously, it's an album, there's a book, there's a docu-series, but it all culminates in people understanding that restoration, though it may start internally, it should come out externally, and you should be able to restore, communities and people. And I wanted people to see that as well. I don't just want personal restoration. I want to restore every environment that my hands touch.
And you've gone about doing this restoration in so much work in Atlanta, where you reside now and where your record label is, Reach Records. Talk to us about some of those things that you've been able to go out and do and touch people in that community and help restore them.
Yeah, I mean, a part of it has been getting involved in creating educational, opportunities. So we helped plan a school called Peace Preparatory Academy. And that has provided education in a neighborhood that hasn't had proper schooling in over 20 years. And then, of course, there's just nationwide, national opportunities. Even in Houston, working with Habitat for Humanity and making sure that people, have homes. Working with the NAACP and Experian and providing, opportunities for people to not lose their homes during the pandemic. And then, of course, Mask for the People, where we are providing tools for those people who are incarcerated to be able to survive the COVID-19.
From the financial literacy that you're teaching people to the schools, are you doing for these communities what you wish someone would have done for you when you were younger and your family?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely am trying to emulate different people that I've seen, but that not necessarily, you know, knocked on my front door. My grandmother was one of those people. My mother, who, when she was a child, was part of a free breakfast program in Third Ward, got to see some of those things. And so for me, it's just wanting to continue to give back and to continue to serve.
Yeah. It's very humbling, the work that you're doing, is it not?
Absolutely. It reminds you of where you come from, and it also reminds you that you can't live on your high horse in your ivory tower. And so it's been neat, just taking my kids and helping people move, and my kids get to see, like, oh, not every kid has their own room. Okay, not every kid has their own bed to sleep in, and it's good for them as well.
Yeah. It is a nice distraction as well from the trappings of the entertainment world, too. Is part of being so involved in your community keep you from falling toward some of those vices that come along with being a part of the entertainment world, Christian music or not?
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely, there's a lot of superficiality that you can get caught up in, and a lot of vanity. And I'm one to choose sanity over vanity every time. I want to stay focused and stay sober out here. And sometimes you can get caught up in all the glitz and the glam and keeping up with people. And I'm a big advocate of reminding folks that success is not what you do compared to other people. It's what you do compared to what you were created to do. And so I was created to serve, and I want to continue to do that.
Such a poignant statement. It's easier to do when you surround yourself with people who are like minded. I mean, you have all these wonderful people on your label, Reach Records, to hang out with, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Much love and shout out to, Trip Lee, Tadashi, Andy Mineo, KB, Wande, 1K Few. The list goes on, but I'm very grateful for all of them, Hovey as well.
Yeah. What do you think about these two particular works that are nominated this weekend? What is it about them that you think stands out and made not just the Academy recognize, but audiences as well too?
Yeah, I think Come Together obviously was a song that was created to help people kind of weather the storm, and we need to come together. There's a lot of racial tension going on in society, a lot of tension in general in terms of political tension, and then health, of course. And so Come Together is just a song to help people in there. And then Sunday Morning, I think, just resonates because we're all looking for that Sunday morning. We're all looking to wake up on a bright, sunny Sunday morning where we're not stressed and worried, and we believe that uh, that hope is on the horizon.
Yeah. Well, best of luck to you this weekend in those categories. We're hoping for a win. What is next for you? I know you have the book, you have the documentary. What else is in the fold?
Yeah, I'm currently in the studio, so I'm working on volume 4 of a series I've created called Church Clothes. So Church Clothes Volume 4, and it's on the way. So stay tuned.
Yeah. Finally, I have to ask you, what is Lecrae listening to right now?
What is Lecrae listening to? These days, Lecrae's listening to a lot of podcasts. I try not to listen to too much music when I'm creating music, but if I do listen to music, I'll listen to something super old school. I'll go back to my mom's playlist and I'll listen to like Earth, Wind and Fire or Stevie Wonder, something like that,
Oh,
just to
good stuff.
stay out of. Yeah, yeah, some of that's good stuff right there.
Yeah, yeah, and good energy music too, right? Those all
Absolutely.
put out an extra good vibe as well. Wonderful.